Authors. After what felt like endless hours, the red light of the operation room finally turned off. The door slowly opened. A doctor came out. The moment Jungkook saw him, he immediately stood up and ran toward him. Jungkook. Dr. Ryan, she's okay, right? My wife is okay. His voice was shaking. Authors. Tears were still falling from his eyes. The doctor looked at him seriously. Doctor, Mr. Jeon, your wife had very severe injuries. Jungkook's heart started beating fast. Her spine and head were badly injured because of the fall. Jungkook held his breath. Authors. Then the doctor said the word that made the world stop for him. Doctor. Soft but serious. Because of the injury, she has gone into the coma. Jungkook froze for a moment. He couldn't even breathe. It felt like someone had taken all the air out of his chest. Jimmy also stood there in shock. Jungkook all slowly shook his head in disbelief. Jungkook, broken voice, no, that can't be true. Tears started falling faster. He suddenly joined his hands in front of Dr. Jungkook. Doctor, please save my wife. His voice was full of pain. I will give you anything. You want money, anything. He was almost begging. Just make her okay, please. The doctor looked at him with sympathy. Mr. Jeon, we have already done everything. We could. Jungkook's hand slowly dropped. Doctor continued. Now the rest depends on her body. The halfway felt silent again. Doctor spoke carefully. There is only one thing we can do now. Pray that she wakes up from the coma. Jungkook's eyes filled with tears again. Doctor, because there is no fixed time for it. He explained slowly. It could be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. He paused, or even years. Those words echoed Jungkook's mind. Years. Jungkook slowly looked towards the ICU door. His heart felt like it was breaking into pieces. Authors. The doctor took a deep breath. Doctor, we are shifting Van to the ICU now. After saying that, the doctor quietly walked away. Jungkook stood there in complete shock. It felt like he couldn't hear anything anymore. Jimmy quickly held his shoulder. Jimmy, worried. Jungkook, are you okay? But Jungkook didn't reply. He slowly sat down on the floor. His mind was blank. He couldn't understand anything that was happening. Just then, he saw a nurse bringing Van on a hospital bed. They were taking her towards the ICU. Jungkook looked at her pale face. Author's tubes were attached to her body. Machines were monitoring her heartbeat. Tears silently kept falling from Jungkook's eyes. He didn't even wipe them. After some time, Jungkook slowly walked inside the ICU. He sat beside Van's bed. For a moment, he just stared at her. Then his voice finally broke. Jungkook. Van, I'm sorry. More tears fell from his eyes. Jungkook, I couldn't protect you. His hands were shaking. It's all my fault. He looked at her unconscious face. If I had taken care of you properly, this wouldn't have happened. His voice became weaker. Jungkook, I'm very bad husband. He covered his face and started crying badly. Just then a nurse walked inside. Sir, please go outside. Jungkook didn't move. Nurse continually politely. Staying too long with the patient is not good right now, please, sir. Suddenly Jungkook looked up angrily. His eyes were red. Jungkook, I'm not going anywhere. He held Vayan's hand tightly. I will not leave my wife. The nurse looked a little scared. Just then Jimmy quickly walked inside the ICU. He held Jungkook's arm. Jimmy, Jungkook, listen to me. Jungkook didn't look at him. Jimmy continued. Vayan's condition is very critical right now. He spoke softly. She can get an infection too. Jimmy gently tried to pull him. So we should go outside for her. Jimmy's voice became softer. For Vayan, please. Jungkook slowly looked at Vayan again. His eyes were full of pain. After a few seconds, he slowly let go of her hand. Jungkook stood up silently and without saying anything, he walked out of the ICU with Jimmy, but his eyes never stopped looking back at Vayan. Authors. 3 days had passed, but Vayan was still in coma. Every single day, Jungkook came to the hospital with new flowers for her. He would sit beside her bed and talk to her for hours. Jungkook never went home. At night, he slept on the couch in the ICU waiting area. His whole day was spent doing only one thing, trying to wake up Vian. Jungkook would gently hold her hand and speak softly. Jungkook, Vian, look, I brought your favorite flowers today. He placed the flowers beside her bed. Today Jimmy came and forced me to eat lunch. He tried to smile, but the food was horrible without you. Sometimes he would show her their old pictures on his phone. Look at this one. Remember this day? His voice slowly became emotional. You forced me to take this picture even though I said no. He laughed a little, but when Vian didn't respond, his smile slowly disappeared. Tears filled his eyes again. Jungkook whispers, please wake up, and sometimes he cried silently beside her bed. Authors outside the ICU, Jimmy was standing quietly. He could see everything through the glass. He watched how Jungkook tried to smile while talking to Vian and then cried when she didn't respond. Jimmy sang sadly. Just then, his phone vibrated. Jimmy looked at it but ignored the call. A few seconds later, the phone vibrated again. Jimmy got slightly annoyed but still ignored it. Authors. Then the phone rang a third time. Now irritated Jimmy took out his phone. The number was unknown. Jimmy answered the call. Hello? A nervous voice spoke from the other side. Employee. Hello sir, are you Mr. Jimmy? Jimmy forward slightly. Jimmy, yes. Who's this? The man spoke carefully. Employee. Sir, I need to tell you something. About what? The employee hesitated for a second. About Vian, ma'am. Jimmy's expression immediately changed. Jimmy, who are you and what do you mean? The employee spoke nervously. Employee, sir, I will tell you everything. He lowered his voice. But please don't mention my name to anyone. Jimmy looked towards the ICU door for the moment. Please come and meet me at this location. Jimmy stayed silently for a second. Then he said firmly, okay, I'm coming right now. Authors. Jimmy reached the cafe. A little while later, a nervous employee was already sitting at a corner table. Jimmy walked up to him and sat down. Jimmy looked at him seriously. Jimmy, so what did you want to tell me about Vian? The employee looked around carefully to make sure. Then he spoke in a low voice. Employee, sir, the day Vian ma'am fell from the stairs, Jimmy leaned forward slightly. I saw Arya standing there, and the moment ma'am fell, Arya ran away from there. Jimmy's expression suddenly became serious. Employee swallowed nervously. Sir, I think she pushed Vian, ma'am. Jimmy's eyes widened. What the hell? Jimmy, how can you say something like that? His voice became sharp. And why would she even do that? The employee looked down for the moment, then he answered quietly. Employee, because she likes Jungkook, sir. Jimmy froze. She has tried many times to get close to Jungkook, sir, but sir never paid any attention to her. The employee looked up again, and after some time, Jungkook sir also started working with Vian ma'am. He continued explaining. Because of that, Arya couldn't even go near sir anymore. Jimmy's face slowly became darkened with anger. Employee lowered his voice even more. Sir, she has tried to harm Vian ma'am before too. Jimmy immediately looked at him. Jimmy, what do you mean? Employee, just some time before the accident, he explained carefully. Vian ma'am was carrying coffee to Jungkook sir's cabin. Suddenly, Arya bumped into her and the hot coffee spilled on Vian's ma'am's hand. Jimmy clenched his fist on the table. At that time, everyone thought it was just an accident. He paused, but now I don't think it was. Authors. After leaving the cafe, Jimmy didn't waste any time. He went straight to the office and checked the CCTV footage from that day. The video clearly showed everything. Arya standing behind Vian near the stairs and then suddenly pushing her. Jimmy had sunk. He immediately drove back to the hospital. When he reached the ICU waiting area, Jungkook was still sitting there, silently. Jimmy, Jungkook, we need to talk. Jungkook looked at him. Jimmy told him everything about the employee, about Arya being there, and about CCTV footage. As Jimmy smoked, Jungkook's face slowly filled with uncontrolled anger. His face clenched tightly. Jungkook stood up suddenly. Jungkook. Jimmy looked at him. Please stay here with Van for a while. His voice was shaking with rage. If anything happens, call me. He looked at ICU door. But don't leave her alone, Jimmy. Noted. Jimmy, don't worry, Jimmy. Placed a hand on his shoulder. Jimmy, I will stay with Van. Then he looked at Jungkook seriously. But you take care of yourself. Jungkook didn't reply. He simply turned and walked away. Jungkook got into his car. On the way, he called the office. Where is Arya? The receptionist answered nervously. Receptionist. Sir, Arya ma'am hasn't come to the office for 3 days. Jungkook's eyes narrowed. Receptionist continues. She informed us that she was not feeling well. Jungkook silently ended the call. Then he turned the steering wheel and drove straight to Arya's house. Authors. Jungkook stayed outside her door. His anger was burning inside him. He knocked the door. After a few seconds, Arya opened it. Then, moment she saw Jungkook, she was surprised. But Jungkook suddenly gave a small smile. Jungkook, Arya, I heard you are not feeling well. Arya forced a smile. Arya, yes, Jungkook. Jungkook continued calmly. Jungkook, there's Van fighting for her life. His eyes slowly become darker. And here you are resting, Arya? Felt slightly nervous. Then Jungkook said casually, will you keep me standing outside? He tilted his head slightly. Or will you invite me inside? Arya quickly moved aside. Arya, no, please come in. She closed the door. Arya was nervous, but she tried to stay calm in her mind. She thought, maybe Jungkook doesn't suspect me. Both of them sat on the couch. Arya sat beside him. Jungkook spoke casually. Jungkook, so how is work going? Arya tried to act normal. Arya, everything is good. Then suddenly Jungkook spoke again, but this time his voice was cold. Jungkook, and tell me. He slowly turned toward her. The plan to push Van from the stair. His eyes were full of anger. Was that your idea or your friend's? Arya's face turned completely pale. Before she could react, Jungkook suddenly stood up. He grabbed Arya from behind the couch and held her chin tightly. Jungkook, you really enjoy hurting her, don't you? Arya struggled in fear. Arya, Jungkook, leave me. But Jungkook forced a tablet into her mouth and made her swallow it. Arya coughed in pain. Arya, Jungkook, stop. Jungkook suddenly let go. Then he calmly walked towards the door. Arya looked confused and scared. Before she could run, Jungkook steps outside and locked the door from outside. Arya realized she was trapped. She ran toward the door and started banging on it. Arya screamed, Jungkook, please open the door. Outside the door, Jungkook spoke coldly. Jungkook, the tablet you just swallowed. He paused. That was poison. Arya's eyes widened in horror. She started panicking. Arya screamed for help and desperately searched for her phone, but she couldn't find it. Then she looked towards the window and saw Jungkook standing there. Her phone was in his hand. Jungkook looked at the main gate of the house. Then, without saying anything else, he turned and walked away.